I just found this and kind of wanted to include it, not so much for the actual content, but just give an example of what happens when other people try and destroy a person's life who have no idea what that person has been working on for 10 years plus. This was a poster idea I had back in the 80s. And I had been working on this for years and years and years. And Jane knew about it. Her folks knew about it. And they knew that I had this as something. Because when I knew my back, in the back especially, when all that started crapping out, I knew I had to do something in the future for revenue. And so what I did was, back in after graduation, I made a poster of Harry's Chocolate Shop, which is the main bar at Purdue. And I gave it to people for a wedding gift. It was a hand-drawn illustration of the chocolate shop, kind of cartoon style, and I have 0 images of it, but I have the second one. And I gave this to 2 or 3 people for wedding gifts. I gave Jane one after, I think after Brad got married. I just thought she wanted one, and then she gave it to her father. Her father knows it. He knew Herschel real well, and long story short is, Herschel got to see this, the owner of Harry's Chocolate Shop, and he put it up in his bar, Harry's Chocolate Shop, right downtown. And I'll Google it. This is totally revamped and everything, but this was kind of the view of it, because it had the front, but this awning is completely new, and the other one was a little tin roof. That was really cool. But my gosh, I haven't even seen this. This is totally different. Oh my gosh, this! I can't remember what was there before. Oh my gosh. And then, so we were right down the street. There's a fight out house. No, it's not. Where are we? There you are. There's a light out in front. There's the fight out house. So we were right down the street. We were kind of made the every single night thing kind of rough. But this was the 3rd floor, and I know I didn't want to get into this, but that's where I lived. And Henry Petras is probably the only person that can say that he's glad I'm alive, because I'll show the pictures later on, but they're up here, and Henry was doing one of these, and he grabbed me, and we looked at each other and never said a word about the event afterwards. But I'll fill in the blanks and it'll make more sense. But, so yeah, we were right down the street. Oh, and then, so what famous Phi lived in that room? Well, the hint is, only one of us has stepped on the moon. Actually, probably only 2 of us have, well, at least one of us hasn't stepped foot on the moon. Not to be the conspiracist, just a realist. Anyway. And people came in, they goes, where can we get one? And again, long story short, I made up 1,000, they sold. Boom, sold. And I made another 1,500, boom, those sold. So, and I can't remember if there's a 3rd go around or not. In fact, there was. There's a 2nd round of 1,500, and then everything kind of tanks. But before I go there, that I had $18,000 in revenue. These were selling at $25 a pop. The bar got $4. Her father distributed them. We packed them, I packed them up in Evanston. And when her folks came up to visit, they'd take a little shipment back down and drop it off, and it was kind of replace. You give me, the money for the last 25, and here's 25 more. Simple as simple can be. And as it turned out, people were taking money off the top. They said the posters got damaged, and so the money started disappearing, and then I find out that Jane was siphoning it away, along with my insurance checks, but that's another story, which I have receipts and copies of. Anyway, it's not to get jabs in at them, but his memory recalls. So with the chocolate shop, we made about $18,000 with just that one image. So then my tiny brain just runs with that idea and starts, well, wait a minute, if one poster gets 18,000, what would happen if I've got 100 times that? I can't do the math. That's way too much. But I was good in math. And sorry, I'm really tired and not. Yeah, it's just been a long day. And so I worked on this, and this is nothing. This is the proposal and, the nonsense, idea, business plan, blah, blah, blah. And then had this presentation made up, kind of show what I've got. There's posters, and these are the ones that are done. These are the ones that are in planning, meaning they're in my head. So I had, that many for ag school, consumer and family sciences. Those are made. These under, conceptually under design. Education class. I don't want to bore you to death, but I just want to show the effort that went into this, and it just gets erased. It gets erased in one event, and then things disappear and everything else. So, before you inflict harm on other people, stop it. Because I can only laugh about it now, but boy, you tell me thousands and thousands of hours. So that's engineering class, liberal arts, management class, pharmacy and nursing, science. That was, just so much potential. And technology and vet sciences. So, hold on. So, not only that, I do estimates on if so many are bought at so many, or this was actually just the degrees of how many, just to get an idea of how many people may buy it. And I guessed 1% and 3%. And this is where my projections stopped, because all this, I'd worked on this up till 2007. And again, that's when brain explosion. But, this was a breakdown of all the graduates of the ag school in these years, and this can go closer. So that's how many graduated, and then how many percent of the total class to get an idea of, well, am I being heavy in one type of agriculture, or how many of the graduates are consumer and family sciences, how many in education. So that gave you an idea there are a lot more people in 19% of the graduating classes in liberal arts. I know I'm not speaking right, but engineering, 22%, 24%, and 94%. You can figure it out. So we got the number of people graduating and add it all up. And then guessing how many participated, 1%, 3%, had a total number, and then figured out if those people bought it at X amount, how much revenue. So, I mean, it was thought out, I think. Then I had different business models. And again, this isn't thumping my chest or anything. It's just a lot of effort went into something, and people, to protect their own little world, just decided, let's destroy someone else. It just kind of... But it wasn't meant to be. That's the thing I have to get over with. That despite all this, God said, you know what, that's cool, but I've got other ideas, I guess. And that's the way you got to look at it is, you know, despite all this, you're going to go through some pretty rough stuff. But, man, I just want this to at least be known, because no one in the world knows about, they know of the project, but not what level it went into. Mickey didn't care about this stuff. Just, jeez. Anyway, so there's all that. Then different models on the alumni history and participating and revenue based, and you know, not that I jacked up the numbers, but if I got 1% to buy one of these things, that, you know, and then at graduation, that was when Harry's posters sold, because I know everyone likes nostalgia stuff. So we'll get to the posters. Don't worry, I'll get to the posters. I got broken down by regions and alumni clubs. Faculty and staff, have to include them in the estimates. It's just a different year. How many in the programs? I mean, this is what I do. I love doing this stuff. But, you know, man. So, what else? I don't want to keep doing this, but probably the same thing. Poster sales. Anticipated revenue. Look how much money you can make. That's, you know, consumer. That's consumer. Education. So again, all of these. 1 times X amount. Just repeat. Do one thing and just do it. Keep doing it. It's like at CTL, people were saying, I don't know if I've just got 1 year experience and spreading it over 20 years or what, but kind of end up doing the same thing for evaluation. It's just a different structure. For me, it was how you document things and make the work go smoother. But it's a whole nother issue. So there's all that. Then hold on. For whatever reason, I put these on a web format or web page. But this was the product. You know, and my signature stuff is that I just incorporated an image. This is from Purdue Ag School. They have a farm and they raise GMO garbage. Anyway, so I do little things like that. Ag business. But that was the theme. Then, I don't know, ag communication. So that's a real phone booth that's out there. So I didn't embellish that. Right, turf management. Yeah, turf management. That's Ross Aid. And I'm not going to exhaust. It's just to show a couple that I'm kind of happy with. So this is general agriculture. So you've got, this was on the Stewart Library. But in the bricks, I'll have to go to another image. But for general agriculture, there's a farm field in the bricks. You can kind of see. But anyway. So, you know, just that. And what was this? Ag production. So, there's a big corn cob. So, okay. Meteorology. There's a little weather system. But, you know, that hopefully was what was going to make it unique. Mechanization is an old piece of equipment. But all these are from the school, so they'd mean something to the students that went there. We'll just look at one more. This is like a nutrition. I don't know what happened to the image here, but the close-up was they have these statues at the Hall of Music, and I just had them get thinner. So, and then foods and nutrition. This is triple X Tri-Chi. It's the infamous greasy spoon in Lafayette. So, maybe one more. But like this is American history. European, whatever. In film studies, but the thing is, okay, I put that on top. This is, oh, for crying out loud. I ended up climbing this and put on a sheet sign. We'll just leave it at that. And yes, there are pictures. International relations. I didn't get this, but other people did. Secondary education and the alphabet, but they liked it. This was these were those statues at the Hall of Music, and this was, I don't know, a little saxophone. Haha. Sports movement. Okay. But these were the posters. This is my favorite. Purdue psychology class, and that's the student union on the side. So you got your P, and then the where the ink blot tests and stuff. So I like that. This is Purdue advertising. So inside Mackey Arena, and haha, a little blimp, and Purdue French class. Bimp. There's a bimp in the road, but so that was the idea. And, okay, just so animal science, that's a plaque there, and applied physics, and a little stop sign, but anyway, so it's to develop a theme for all this, and then I thought, well, if worse comes to worse, like I am now, should that ever happen, I would have a means of something to create revenue for. Chemistry class, you got the periodic table. Computer science, that's a map of the campus on microchips. Actually, this is one of my favorite too. General science, little classes, and da-da-da-da. Anyway, more food science. So math education building. They put a little Fortran, which no one would get that now. It's like, what? Genetics class, there's Purdue Pete. The stands. Oh. But, I mean, this was fun. This got things going. And, oh, yeah, there's a little micro. Oh, now I got it. Okay. So that's a little biology, like a petri dish, and but now it seems like I'm bragging. So Purdue aerodynamics class, this is a test plane or something there, but it didn't have any engines. That was kind of funny. Industrial arts, these are gone. I forgot what they're called. The and electrical engineering, the little zzz coming in. But anyway, so this is one of my favorite. I forget this why I have to. This was aviation class, so you got the radar and stuff. Okay, neat. Anyway, and supervision. I'm probably the only person that liked or got this, but it just looked like Big Brother with the eyes and supervision and whatever. Industrial illustrations, a little pen. Okay. Alright, so you get the gist. I feel I have to explain. So this was apparel technology with an apron, haha. And then this was the dietetics class. Okay, add a little pounds there, got a little thinner, then a little thinner. So, then the nutrition. Nursery, kindergarten. This was the engineering, astronautical, Get the little Saturn thing off to the building. Chemie building, nothing really there. This is the double E building. It had some lightning in the back. Electro, you've seen that. Engineering management, there's a dollar bill. This is environmental, it's a little happy, toxic, interdisciplinary. That's just, they choose any engineering disciplines they want. IDE, but people called it I'll decide eventually because it's kind of a little mishmash of everything. Materials, that was the materials lab. General management, it's dollar bill and obviously and stuff. Here's a little nugget that got tucked away. This is a picture of the house I worked on. I built all this by hand, thank you. And I didn't know this is tucked away in here. I don't know why. But so that was the house. I recited this whole thing, painted it, gutted well, not gutted. Well, I gutted the upstairs and redid it. This whole thing, there was just the bottom frame, and then I built the whole upper, and then these neighbors were right here. This is where Mixed Folks, I rented their place for $500 Thanksgiving weekend, no less. They stayed right here. God. But I mean, another one with a little bit more progressed, but I didn't think I had any under construction. Yeah, this is keeping me busy. Last was clinical sciences for the vet school. So. And of course the professional pilot image. And I'll just leave it on that note that obviously I had a target audience for this one, but so yeah, there was countless hours in that whole thing, and gone. I don't even know where the originals are. I was surprised that I had them scanned and on a computer that's working, but just because they're gone, they're going to be gone, and so c'est la vie. But anyway, people, before you hurt people, know what you're doing. Anyway, thank you. And I'll just throw this in. So this is the front of the house. And the only reason I'm throwing it in now is because there's a news item today about some hazing incidents at a fraternity at Syracuse. So I thought that was pretty funny. So we had all the pledges sit on the front steps. We told them, oh, we're going to take a picture, and won't that be funny? Meanwhile, there's probably 10 guys up on the roof with garbage cans, and sure enough, boom. And when we're up there, this is in winter. And, I mean, this guy's got the coat. They're pledges, so they're kind of dressed lean for outdoors. But Hank was up on the roof, and he started to go over. And he grabbed me. And, I mean, funny would be, why are you grabbing me? But he grabbed me, got back up, his bearings, and it was one of those where he was gone. He was going over, and someone actually ended up doing it. It didn't kill him, but they paralyzed them, and then the fraternity was under double public probation, and the house went through a bunch of changes, and they became the first dry house. Right. Yeah, we had unkeggers too. From 8 o'clock to 11:59 or 12:01, we were, serving punch and everything for the public, and then at 12:03, TA and all these guys rolled in with all the kegs and stuff. It's not funny. Don't do drugs, stay in school, and respect your elders. But it was funny. Anyway, good night. I'm doing this just because it's tired. I know I'm real nasally and stuff, and I apologize. So we had a welcome back Neil type thing, and historically the guy never talked about stuff in public, or kind of wonder why. And talk about secrets. Another layer of truth is peeled back. Weep, weep. Anyway, it should say. But, so we're told, don't take any pictures. Don't take any pictures, because he's real private. He doesn't like it. So I'm like, does that apply to everyone? Not me. Or I wasn't there for that staff meeting, and I didn't get the memo. So I had the hip cam on, and sure enough, I'm thinking I'm coy and undercover, and he walks right by me. Look at him. He's looking right at the camera. Probably had certain security detail behind him. I know that's not his security detail, but yeah, so that's Neil Armstrong. We had the same room. Imagine that coincidence. Coinky dinky. Bet he didn't do that.